stand for that flag. Alright, this is a review of an electric fence tester. This particular one does not have any kind of name on it. You can get them at Tractor Supply. You can get them online. So any farm supply. Basically, most of them are all the same. Just depends on whose sticker they put on them. So anyway, how to use it. You can't use it when it's really bright out because you will not see the LEDs. Doesn't matter what brand it is. Alright, now hook it to your fence. And you can see the fence is putting out basically 8,000 volts. I know it's hard to see. And you can see how dim those lights are. So during the day, yeah, you're going to be like, holy shit, my fence isn't working. So anyway, you just set it on your fence. So you can barely see it. Anyway, 8,000. Hook it on your fence. Put your probe, okay, which is right here. Put your probe in the ground. Jam it in the ground and see what your reading is. Now, like I say, this baby here is putting out 8,000 volts. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show you how to do is, better watch out, Nico. Where's the probe? Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make sure your ground is good, meaning the grounding rod. First thing you want to do is turn the power off. Okay. Now, you go over here to one of your grounding rods. Yes, that one here kind of got bent over. These are 8-foot grounding rods, and hit a boulder or something in the ground because I couldn't get it to go any further. A couple to this one and that one, but you don't care about that. Ended up using the tractor bucket to force it into the ground. That one went in, but this one here still has it. So anyway, you want to go, the manufacturers recommend that you go, to test the fence, that you go 100 yards from your Energizer. So I believe I have a metal stud over here. Yes. So anyway, all you have to do is you want to go roughly 100 yards is what they recommend. And take something like this. This is metal, anything metal. This happens to be a metal stud. You can use a crowbar, piece of pipe, or whatever, and short the fence. Okay? Now, if you notice, that's all I did. I had it laying against the fence. Let's try that again, shall we? Anyway, so you can see it's up against the fence, and I have it touching the ground. So now it'll be grounded. Now you go back to your probe. This is cherry trees, bee garden, and what have you. Anyway, go back to your probe. Yes, I could have cut it. Now, what you want to do is you can use your probe if you want, but the voltages for the probe are too low because it only reads from 600 to 20,000 volts. So use a multimeter. All right. This is a multimeter I happen to have. Put it on auto. This will read up to 600 volts. So, what you do, kind of hard to hold it and do it at the same time. So what you want to do is simply take your probe, one of the probes, stick it in the ground, all right, and then touch the other probe, the other end of your probe, to your grounding rod. And if you're under 600 volts, you're good. You know what? Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see. The ideal voltage would be 0. You can see 162, 163. See where she stops at. With each pulse, it'll slowly go up. So anyway, you're talking 175, 174, 175 volts. And I have 3 grounding rods. So because it's not reading 0, you generally want it below 600 volts. If it's below 600 volts, the manufacturers say that you are good to go. Ideally, you would like it to be 0, okay? Which would mean you got a really, really excellent grounded system. So we'll try this one. Let's see what we got on this one. All right, let's get the meter here. Same thing, 150, it's slowly going up. But as long as you're under 600 volts, you are good to go. So just remember, let me zoom back out, sorry about that, people. So anyway, put my hand right in front of it, right? This guy's a clown. So anyway, that's basically how you do it. Because if you notice on here, it'll read 2,000 volts up to, what is it, 12,000? The other one I had was a 20,000 one. But anyway, that's how you test. So anyway, this works good. They're all the same. I tried 2 or 3 different ones, and mosquitoes are out. And none of them are really that visible during the day because the light's too bright. Just so you know that. So anyway, there you go. This fence is putting out 8,000 volts, which will give you a good jolt. I'm using it to keep deer and rabbits out of the garden. Just make sure before, well, I have the power on, but just make sure you don't touch the metal bar. You don't want to get zapped if your fence is still on. So it's a good idea if you're going to, when you undo it, kill the power to your fence so it's not energized, and then take your grounding bar off and you're good to go. So anyway, it's literally that simple to test your fence to make sure it's working. And so like I say, these testers, they're all about the same, different manufacturers. You know what? I might not have. So anyway, as long as you're under 600 volts, you're good to go.